Hello everyone, Tifa's BT and FR is around the corner and I'm here to talk about it. My fellow simps, it is our toe. Whoa, where did that come from? Whoa, get that off the screen. Oh god. Anyways, in this video, before you pull on Tifa's BT and FR banners, I'm going to review the units on the banners and use the information here to guide my suggestions. I want to hear your thoughts too, so leave a comment with your plans for the content, the fight, and the banners. Also, like the video, helps out a ton. Subscribe to my channel. I am really close to 5K, and I'd appreciate it. Hit the bell so you don't miss a video. And check out my bi-weekly stream, the Ranting Hour. Last week, I talked about Queena, the future of the game, and some other fun stuff. And I ranted about enhancement points. So it's fun topics. Go check it out. And lastly, I want to hear what your reductionist take of Tifa is. It's a fun little game to play in the comments because, you know, people like to compare characters without actually looking at what the characters do. So I'm going to say Tifa is basically a, Tifa's a melee Tidus, who else crits? A melee Tidus Prish. Not my best, but I want to hear what you guys can come up with. All right, man, that dress. All right, anyways, Tifa. If you're not familiar with her kit and you live under a rock somewhere, Tifa is a melee damage dealer. She is only single target damage. She has massive brave gains, so even if she's not doing a lot of brave damage, she can gain from refunds between her attacks. She's got high turn rate on her moves, and like her skill 2 is consecutive. With her rework, she's getting more HP attacks, and she's getting the damage echo that Leo LD or Luna Freya's heavy prayer buff gives, so that's even more damage that Tifa's doing. Truly a damage monster. Now she has a burst as well. It's playing Genova Absolute, which is one of my favorite tracks from 7. Oh my god, I love that song. Tifa gets, when her BT effect is up, Tifa gets 6 extra HP attacks on any button she presses, presuming it's an attack, which is nuts, because base beat rush plus, which you're going to be pressing a lot, has 6, so Tifa's functionally having, I think at least, unless you're pressing skill 2, but you're probably not pressing that in force time, Tifa has 12 HP, single target HP attacks a turn, which is ridiculous. What were they smoking? It's 2 different abilities, but it's when they're in the same turn. I think it's just for flavor. Man, wow, that's a lot of damage. And then you get more brave damage and cap versus single target damage, so you're gonna want to. This is all benefiting Tifa. The party gets more brave damage and brave cap. I meant to put HP cap. Nope, I didn't. Yeah, sorry, I'm fried. And 30% HP cap on top of all this. So the team, if you're running off turns in the background like Kane's, your core, etc., she's doing really well. 30% HP cap was just overkill. I don't know why they gave it to her. Her FR condition is really simple. It's just 30% single target brave damage and 30% on crit brave damage. This is designed for Tifa. Tifa should be running this. If you want other people to help during her FR, bring other single target attackers. But for at least a very long time, Tifa's BT phase with her FR up will probably kill everything for the next couple months. So does it really matter that much? No. Team synergy, just the usual turn hogger and taking BT DPS strategy. Bring off turn follow-ups like Kane, Core, you name it, and strong auras, and you're good with Tifa. Tifa is hilariously straightforward. One of the easiest, simplest characters in the game. She's worthy of the hype. So strengths-wise, Tifa has monster damage. I can't stress that enough. She just blows every single DPS out of the water. And I don't think folks understand how much DPS Tifa's doing. It's actually nuts. She's got self-brave gain, so famously in the Vanavelza stage in a couple months in the future, it is anti-magic once the force gauge gets past a certain point. But Tifa is so strong. I mean, it's anti-melee past a certain point. But Tifa can gain so hard and do so much damage, she can actually punch completely through that, which is nuts. She's flexible. Context. She can fit in a lot of teams just because she does so much damage, and then her effects are so supportive. So even if you're not pressing her FR, she's probably going to be a good team member regardless. Non-elemental, so she can drive elemental FRs and conditions and not get shut out by lockouts. I think I should do a video on the lockouts in the upcoming month to contextualize it. And she drives her own FR, so you know, it's pretty hands-off. Weaknesses, she is pure single target, so if you're like 3 targets, she's gonna suffer. Thankfully those fights don't happen that often. and 2 targets. You're gonna have to jump back and forth between 2 targets, but that's like the smallest con in the world when she does as much damage as she does. And ultimately, she's more of the same. I had this criticism of Vayne as well, but it's more so for Tifa, because if you're not running Tifa's BT phase with her BT effect up and driving an FR, you're probably not running Tifa. Like she just, if you've been playing Tidus, you're playing the deep burst phase focus Machina, it's just more of the same. Rush them down, and for people who like that, go for it. But for people who don't like that, might not be your flavor. But let's keep going. Bartz is getting a C90 and a rework, getting slightly more damage. He's got like 3 HP attacks on his skills and 5, I think, on his EX and LD. Not great. He's a wind melee support. Who has gravity on some of his attacks. Well, LD set to 0. Skill 2 is gravity. EX is gravity to 0, I think. I don't remember exactly, but he can brave shade really well with the skills. And he can enable people to be broken, but he doesn't re-break. He's got aura, wind enchant, so he doesn't need a debuff, but he can make everyone wind enchant just by being in the party. Or no, excuse me. He can make all the enemies wind weak, provided he's in the party with his buff up. Not his LD buff, just his regular skill buff. And he also hits wind on his own, so he'll be hitting weakness damage. And then if you have his BT greened, he's providing wind enchant to the party, which is nice. And then he got some more party brave gains on his C90 to add up to, I think, 50% total, which is in the Fury, Tola, and Charlotta has more, but the Fury and Tola range of 50% brave gains to the party, so that's cool, I guess. Bartz's history in this game, Bartz is either really good or confused, and he's in a confused phase right now. He does not do much damage at all, and his support capabilities he's like middle of the road, and like the current environment of the game with the meta with the force. Bartz needs some help. This is not his greatest tuning pass. 8 is getting a C90 and a rework. I think 8's a sleeper, honestly. But if you're not familiar with this kid, 8 is a melee evasion counterattacker. He now does defense down on his counters, on one of them at least. And he does it with his special HP attack. And he's got instant turn rate on his HP attack too, after hitting a broken target. This was reworked as well. And so I believe the way it works is after he uses his LD and he attacks a broken target, his next turn he'll just get the special HP attack. And this before you had to Brave Plus into it, but now this actually functionally, at least outside of Force Time, this adds on to 8 damage a lot more than you think, because this new HP Plus is 3 HP attacks and it's instant turn rate. So he'll get that back pretty much every time. You can pop that and then use a skill. His skills are like 3 HP attacks. So in practice, he's got, provided you press the special HP into the skill, he's got like 6 HP attacks on his skills and even more on like his EX and LD. So it's actually, 8 actually does a lot more on turn damage. So if you're going to compare him to like someone like Galuf or another counter unit, 8 doing definitely more on turn damage. Just doesn't work quite as well in Force Time. But moving on, 8 also taunts. And he's got a double counter. So we saw this with Galuf, we saw this with Cord, and we saw it with Gal. If these characters can hit off-turn conditions and they proc their double counter, they'll hit it twice. So say we're talking about Core's FR, for example. If 8 gets his counter off, instead of being a 5% on the off turn, he'll actually be a 10% on the off turn, which can add up significantly over time, which is very handy. 8 is also non-elemental, so he wins over Gal in that aspect. And he's got defense ignore, so he has enough brave hits to cap his counters, but also he's going to be punching through enemy stuff. Even this was abused recently in the really hard 6 warrior quest. 8 was part of the no force echo team, just because him proccing double counters and defense ignore and hitting really hard in the off turn. So yeah, I think 8's actually a bit of a sleeper. His counters don't do the most HP attacks. Like he's got like what? It's split. No, one is full HP damage and the other is 2 single target attacks, so it's 3 on a target. But in practice, I think that him double proccing is actually really good. But let's keep it moving. Jack is sad. Melee damage dealer. He drains his HP when he uses his EX, and he can recover it back after using his skills. He's got a brief evasion period after he drains his HP, so that's an interesting mechanic. Whenever he uses his skills, he warps right in front of the enemy's turns, which is a nice callback to Type 0. He's got a really strong LD debuff. It used to be meta back in the day. Now, not so much. It's 50% defense down, 50% Is it 30% brave damage down? I don't know, but it's a good debuff. Jack's skills suck ass though. Jesus Christ. This character has been an LD call debuff for a bit, and that is not changing with this rework. His follow-up got increased to 2 HP attacks, so now he's like doing like what, 4 HP attacks a button press on his skills. Yeah, they kind of forgot about him here. Next up, we have Selphie, who is also currently still broken, and definitely broken like probably for the rest of the game span, to be honest. I had to sip my tea. She is a gravity support. She has a launch enabling debuff. She puts the debuff down from her LD, and everyone who has the debuff active will get launched when anyone attacks them, and the debuff will not go down unless they take a turn. Now, because she's getting Force enhancement, her EX and her skill 2 gaze charge. This elevates Selphie to a new level of brokenness. Selphie friends are even more OP now as well. You just get them in, charge, drop the debuff, and get them out. Or you could have your own Selphie in the party. Get the debuff on, charge, and get out. So if you're down with those strategies, Selphie is going to enable the heck out of them like crazy. She's also got 80% debuff immunity, and she's got heals, brave reduction, battery. So she's a good unit alongside the broken stuff. But a lot of people are focused on her ability to make everyone launchable and charge, and honestly, I don't blame them. She is a broken character. A huge mistake. Lastly, we have Leo, who is a melee hybrid attacker. Hybrid meaning he does damage, but he also has some HP regen and battery for the party. So he has a tiny bit of support, but nothing you main support. Bring him as a main support for. He's got single target HP damage echo, meaning whenever anyone in the party does a single target HP attack, they will get 10% of their HP cap or their Brave cap, they are the same thing, attached to their attack. So just a little bit more damage. You might have seen it in some videos. He also provides more single target brave damage up for the party. He brings HP regen, delay, and battery. He's a decent unit all around, but he's a bit outdated and likely being relegated to call purposes. Whew, all right, so to wrap it all up, before you pull on Tifa's FR banner, what are my suggestions? And this is for people, just my opinion. If you're broke on a budget or not really unsure, you can listen to this, consider it. But if you know what you want to do what you gotta. Simps move is one. Giving my plans at first, honestly, I was gonna skip Tifa, but then I looked at her dress. I was like, yeah, I can't. Let me be real. Like, I can't skip Tifa. I really don't like using Tifa. I mean, I'm gonna max her, but I'm not gonna use her. I'm gonna buy the costume, but I'm not gonna use her. Man, Tifa is just so boring to play, and every time I try and invest her, every iteration, I get bored almost instantly, and I know it's gonna happen, but I do it anyways. I don't know why. But she is just unga bunga damage, don't interact with boss, rush them down, and I really don't enjoy that type of style of play. I think the game is much more fun when you let the bosses do things, and Tifa is anti that. For people who love rushing things down, or people who want an easy game and don't care about, only care about completion, don't really care about anything else, and aren't getting bored of the rush downs, Tifa is for you. Tifa is one of the most broken characters in the game's history. And if you really need help in fights, like, she's obviously the one. Full investment in BT, FR, all that. She needs her BT. But I mean, I will say, don't feel pressured to pull Tifa if you don't think you'd enjoy playing her. Like I said, I'm going for her for simp reasons. My real target though is 8. I don't have 8's LD, and I think 8 is a massive sleeper. Just because of that double counter is so good, and him being non-elemental as well. And while Gallop does exist for those purposes, 8 is going to bring more on-turn damage. And, you know, their lockout content is a thing, as we're seeing with Crevasse again. So you can't use all the same units everywhere. And Gallop also has Gal needs people to get hit, but he's also Earth locked. Gallop only procs his double counter when there's physical attacks. But 8 will, if he can dodge it, he'll dodge it and always get the double proc. So that's a plus for 8. And he could potentially hold the Fist Ultimo when Tifa is not. So again, lockout content. And I think the double procs are just really good. I think 8's a giant sleeper, and he has that on-turn damage. So that's my real goal here is 8. I have everything else aside from Tifa's BT and FR, I think, yeah. So so if you're crazy about Tifa, have fun. But if you're not quite sure, and if you're preferring more on-turn stuff, you don't have 8's LD yet, I'd recommend you pick that up. As for the other banner, Bartz, no, Bartz trash. Sorry, bud. Maybe next time. You had a good showing in Lufenia Plus. and Lufenia. Jack, no. His debuff just isn't worth it nowadays. Leo, can't really recommend him either. It's a nice, it's a luxury if you're capped on tickets maybe, but and then Selphie. If you don't already have Selphie should be picked up by all costs. Not by all costs. I never use her. Let me be real. Selphie's really good, and you can get a lot of mileage out of a Selphie friend. There is lockout content, like I said, but in terms of charging and utility, she's really good. So if you don't have Selphie, I would lean towards having her as an option in your pocket. So let me recap. Overall, I'd recommend 8 and Selphie and Tifa on these banners. Tifa, full investment. I mean, if you want to wait until the Liud's FR is good and Ferris's FR is good, provided it's not locked out, which is man, poor Ferris. Never mind. So consider maybe, yeah, that's the banner to go for. Let me be real. People are gonna chase this banner and go for Renoa. So yeah, those are my overall recommendations. Don't sleep on 8. Get Selphie if you don't have her. Tifa's broken, but you don't necessarily need her. Let me know what you guys think. I rambled like hell at the end. I need to wake up, and I'll talk to you guys later. And always remember, yeah. All right. Bye, guys.